Hi guys, it's Colette. This is the weekly tarot card for the week commencing Monday, the 10th of February 2020, and it's the Prince of Wands. Very lovely card in Rorig deck as usual. We've got a lot of symbols in there if you want to look closely. And again, if you're interested, remember that although you can't get this deck anymore, you can get Rorig Tarot book. And it has all the cards full size, actually bigger. So that wee book is just a joy even to sit and look through. Let's see if I can find this one here. Yeah. It's to show you the size that you get them in the book. And I know there's books floating about. And also, I'd like to say this video is sponsored by me for one of my books that I've not been given enough love to. It's called Karma City, Weegie Tarot by Colette Clairvoyant, and I'll just read the back of it. It says, the tarot is the story of the fool and his journey through life, learning, gaining knowledge, becoming wise and spiritually aware. Then he starts it all again in another life. Some lives are easier than others. Eddie Riley was born in the East End of Glasgow in 1961 into a life of poverty, crime, old film rivalry and smoked sausage suppers. It was also a life of love, friendship, family and paradise. The fool was born a Weegie. It could have gone better. It's the major arcana of the tarot, set in an urban location, which is Glasgow, because that's the urban location. I know. Very proud of it. You'll see it with a yellow cover. The yellow covers are they've been bought up by collectors because I bought my rights back to this and then I produced it myself, and I'm very happy with it. So if you see a yellow cover on it, I don't actually get any money from that one. It's sorry, I'm looking at the wrong camera. I don't make any money out of that. It's already been bought on, and they're getting rarer and rarer. So if you want to buy one, but you'll pay through the nose for it. I'd rather you bought Karma City as a paperback or on Kindle, and it's the green cover, which I actually designed myself, and I was very, I know I should go on with the weekly tarot, but this is a very famous landmark in Glasgow. It's the Finniston Cran, and it's a symbol for industrial Glasgow. And that's why from all over the city you tend to be able to see this quite a lot. Anyway, so the Prince of Wands for the week ahead. Generally, for the world, the Prince of Wands is actually a good card, but it comes with a warning. It's the type of card that on the flip of a coin, it can turn to its negative form. So we'll give all the good stuff, but we'll also be knowing that there's a line that can be crossed here where it becomes too much. Now, because it's a court card, it has the energy of the court cards and the elements that make it up, and it also has the energy of just the energy of the card. The Prince of Wands represents a younger or immature male, and that can be right up to 30s. It can be a child. It can also be a man in his 50s that's immature, but an immature fire sign energy is what this actually tells us as a person. So if you've got a brother, a child, a son, a friend that's a fire sign, Aries, Sagittarius or Leo, and this card is for them. So first of all, make sure you're looking at what's going on with them. Make sure that you are aware of their energy, whether they're happy, whether they're sad, whether they're over the top, and keep a wee eye on them. But for the world situations, when they're influenced by this card's energy, take on a very kind of upbeat, youngish, passionate energy. They take on a sense of beliefs kind of fulminating into action. They take on a sense of basically a young man fired up with passion and going out and going after what he wants. Now, in the world situation, that is really high energy compared to what we've had. If you imagine that energy of passion, of desire and energy towards achieving an end, then the world, you'll see if this influences certain movements, that's very, very good. And it will, like good energy attracts good energy, chaos attracts chaos. So this energy card is, for leaders that are represented by this card, they'll just bring people towards them and they'll get caught up in their passion. And it would be interesting to see if any of the people in the democratic kind of caucuses, etc., are fire signs, because this should whip them up a wee bit, whether they're male or female. Also, it'll be interesting how certain causes that come from the heart and the passion are influenced by this week ahead, like Scottish independence, like Welsh independence, like unification of Ireland, like even going back to like Me Too movements in the States, or going for impeachment energies. All these things have this passion, energy, force behind it, and that is very, very good. So how does it become negative along the way? Well, it's a fine line, right? Think of a teenager maybe who has that energy of wanting to achieve, and the passion for something. And they're so full on about it that if something gets in their way, they might not think too clearly, so they explode, or they hit back, or they're nip, or they can be vile, to be honest. You'll all understand that one that's had kids, So this energy is really, really good. But there could be situations where if there's a block to the energy, say a movement's going forward and say there's a law passed that blocks them, that energy will hit a barrier and the passion will then spill over. And that can be a good thing. Think of the energies when the Berlin Wall come down. That's the energies of this card, that sense of new beginnings, and we want this done, and the passion for it. But it can also lead to things like rioting. It can lead to things like maybe people getting mucked about a wee bit, and also it can bring out that headiness that also can bring out some racial abuse and horrible things like that. So although it's a wee court card, it's a big influence, and if you're on the right side of it, and the influences are positive on you, there'll be no stopping you. There will be no stopping you. But if for any reason you are you're blocked with a desire or a belief or a want, please step back from being too impulsive, too reactive. That would be the best way of putting it. Even if it means that you have to stay where you are for another wee while, and then move on once the barrier's been pushed gently out the way, rather than sort of a bomb put through it or it's exploded. That's kind of a joke. It's not a real prediction in any way. Right, so that's the world energy with it, and I hope you can understand it and watch out what's happening round about. But now we'll go to how it affects people personally, in certain areas of their life. Again, watch out for fire sign immature males, sometimes can be females as well, because there's, with gender and stuff, you get some there's such a spectrum that the old way of looking at the tarot, where this was male and this was female, kind of blurred, and as it should be, but just be aware that traditionally it's a fire sign male. Watch out for these people in your life. If you're affected by the influence of this card at work, great. It will give you the fire and the energy to go after a belief, a dream, even a new start with career, a feeling that you've got more to offer, and you're going out there and you're going to offer it, and the sort of fates will support that, because that's the energy you're giving out. I remember going for a job interview when I was 24, and it was for a job I should never have got, because of my age. It was a brand new big health centre, pharmacy, and it was taking it from zero onwards. And I remember thinking, I'm going for that anyway. And I remember just thought it'll be a good interview experience, because there's no way I'll get it. And because of that, I was really quite, right, let's see how this goes. And the people asked me what I felt I could do for them and the development of the health centre. And I told them that, and just as I was about to end, I said, oh, wait a minute, can I ask you something? What will you be doing for me as I develop this? And they kind of were like, and I was driving home and the phone went to tell me I had a job. So, no, sorry, we didn't have mobile phones then. I got home and they phoned. So yeah, that's the energy of this card, that bolshiness, but not too much. So enjoy that for career in the week ahead. If we're looking at health, watch out for burnout. Sometimes we're so invested in something, or we've put so much energy into things, and it's good things, say we've got ahead with our writing, or we've got ahead with a project, or we've caught up with the housework or whatever. There's the feeling with this card to push it that wee bit further, and that's where the card can be a wee bit negative. Good if you've got a deadline. This card is always good for deadlines. Not so good if you're exhausted, so watch out for the exhaustion. I also see it, the symbols on the eyes, I see as eye disorder, but with only one eye, not both of them. It could be something to do with a weakness of the eye. Relationships, if you're looking for one, then fire energies may be very attractive to you in the week ahead. And if that's you, then remember that fire plus air gives explosion. So if you're an air sign, you could win explosion. Fire plus earth, I think this is like fire plus earth gives clay, and that could be a wee bit too sort of solid for you. Fire plus water can give the fire toned down a wee bit and the water heated up, so that can be a good one. And fire plus fire, oh my god. I'm not even going to go there. So I hope I've got that right. I'm not listening back to it. If I've got it wrong, you can put it in the comments. Right, long-term relationships, it's good for bringing a wee bit of passion back, a wee bit of newness to things, a wee bit of youthful, exuberant energy, and that can be good for long-term partnerships. With money, it's good if you're not going to be silly with the energy of this card. If you see something that looks like a good bet and you want to invest in it and put your money forward into it, that's fine, but keep it to what you can afford. Don't say, oh, that's so good, I'll put in what I can't afford, or I'll borrow for that. It's not that type of card. It's too slightly risky that way. But if you can have the passion for what you're doing and the passion for the way that you're managing your money, and see it more of a sense of good energies round about it that you can rely on, but not luck, then this card is very beneficial. If you let it go over exuberant, you'll find that you'll overspend, or you'll not catch where your money's going. It will be going everywhere, and you'll not really catch it. Spiritually, I like it. Sometimes it can tell you to do third eye work. You can see the great white area coming out of the third eye and through the crown. Also has the eyes closed with symbols over them. So anybody wanting to work with certain symbols, whether they be runes or crystals or symbolic things on the tarot cards, or learning a symbolic language, language of the angels, Enochian language, stuff like that, this card can bear fruit. So yes, I do like him, I do. But we've all seen this card's influence go woo, and then instead of stopping, go poof. And that's the point this week, that we all need to stop at. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed this week's weekly tarot card. My book, Tarot Novice to Pro in One Book, is on all Amazons beside Karma Sitter, Ouija Tarot. And I hope that you have a good week and it's full of energy for you, but not silly energy, not energy that is, of an untamed toddler teenager. So many blessings now. Bye.